What's good with it? Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we are about to react to Adam22 and his co-hosts. They're commenting on Kendrick Lamar's interview with Harper Bazaar's magazine, where SZA interviewed him. And of course, anything Kendrick Lamar does, people who are on Drake's side, they have everything to nitpick about. And people who are on Kendrick Lamar's side, when Drake drops something, they're going to nitpick and complain about that. So let's get into it.
You guys check out Kendrick Lamar going and doing an interview with Harper's Bazaar, you know?
Yes.
Supporting black media outlets, hip-hop media outlets. You go do an interview with Harper's Bazaar and supporting real journalism. You let your label mate basically interview you.
Former label.
Kind of bizarre, man. It was very, very pretentious affair that was.
Oh my God. I feel like reading that article, I was left with the feeling this may all backfire on Kendrick at some point, because he has built himself up now to be such an elitist character in the space. And I just don't, I think at a certain point, people are going to realize like, oh, like we really trusted this guy and that it's just not really panning out. Because to me, that interview had so little substance to it, so many words and so little actual like deep provoking, thought-provoking sentiments expressed in it. And I feel like that's largely the sentiment that I've been seeing from other people as well, is that very few people seem impressed by this. And my question too is,
why are you supposed to be impressed? Have you guys not paid attention to any type of Kendrick Lamar interviews? He doesn't do many, right? He doesn't do many. He doesn't post on social media. So you're left with, you don't know what he's about. You don't know what he's into. He's going to give you only but so much. It's like, given the fact he's had one of the biggest years in hip hop history, one of the biggest year in his history, as far as being a rapper and an artist, they want him to talk about Drake and the beef. He's not going to do that. If you know Kendrick, he's not going to do that.
Elliot's all on, Nicki Minaj for going and doing content with Kai Cenat, right? I mean, what is this? This is the same shit. It's a softball interview.
I'm trying not to curse. How are you comparing Kendrick Lamar doing an interview with the magazine of a magazine that's usually catered towards women? I think he's the first male to be on the cover of the magazine, which is dope. And he interviewed with someone he has some familiarity with because they were on the same label. SZA is on TDE. Where was Kendrick? He was on TDE. Now he has his own shit with PG Lang, right? How do you compare that with 40-year-old Nicki Minaj going on Kai Cenat's stream? Kai Cenat is what, 21, 22 years old? Like, come on, bro. Y'all be reaching. I know your back hurt.
This is super.
When you could have supported a real hip hop media outlet and sat down with somebody who really does this, it was the ultimate situation where he's like shielding himself from any kind of tough questions or any, like, you can't imagine him going on the Breakfast Club
for sure. No
because
way.
even
So
Charlemagne
shit up?
would shit down his throat if he wanted to give those kind of bullshit ass answers.
You made all that shit up about Drake, right? You was capping, right? That's
exactly. That's all we needed to hear. And instead he sits.
And y'all think that's a real interview for them to talk about Drake the whole fucking time? He don't want to do that. He's not going to do it. Listen to the songs.
Across from SZA, who lets him get away with like, the song was about how I, as a man, am just in such a great space as a man or whatever. It's like, you call him a pedophile and it seems like it's all a lie. Tell us. Because think about it. They put out a call for Diddy's accusers, right? You get hundreds. He makes the #1 song of the year, calling Drake an abuser and a pedophile. 0 girls have showed up to confirm this. All they can go on is like a video of him bringing a chick on stage.
In the song. Come on.
That's the only thing of substance he talked about in the song. It's the only thing people care about.
It's because of where the beat dropped. A minor.
Okay, but the only part of the song that really connected people that anybody gave a fuck about.
He kissed A minor on camera before.
Yeah, we're not gonna act like he's beyond reproach.
Why does Katy Perry text me? Kendrick's been on the Breakfast Club.
Yeah,
no shit. A decade ago.
Yes, I'm fattening.
You're abusing your text privilege.
Drake comes out with what? Maybe an album a year, 2 albums a year, or something like that. He drops frequently, right? Drake doesn't do interviews. He doesn't do them. He doesn't really do interviews. Where's the backlash for that?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Shane.
thank you. We really needed that.
No,
Yeah.
these softball interviews, like they're so pointless, and it's interesting because it sort of relates to what I do in the sense that, like, you ever see Travis Scott's Netflix documentary?
No.
It's just the biggest whitewash ass kiss fest about Travis. It's like, I've made my own documentary. We're not going to talk about anything bad, and that's why it's like when I do
No,
things.
he's got 10 bucks.
And to
Oh,
be
you
honest,
should get a tattoo of him.
He defo got 10 bodies for sure.
And
For
to be
sure. And
honest,
he's not even sorry.
That's
the
not
best-
funny.
He's not even
best-
sorry.
It's
the
not
best
funny.
footage of Travis Scott in history is him getting harassed by the police and then detained when he was at the fucking
Yeah, that was
yacht
hard.
party.
That was
That
hard.
was like
Mm.
Travis Scott. We could party for sure. We could take some Molly with some hoes and turn up.
I've
Like,
heard, I
I
feel
knew
like
at that
just,
moment.
but like bringing it back to Kendrick, it's just like these softball interviews. I just feel like it's such a facade. It's like, you know, you're getting, your label mate to interview you. You're not being asked any of the tough questions. It's like, bro, what's even the point of doing that? But I guess it's just like,
Where does this entitlement come from where Kendrick Lamar has to be asked these hard questions? For what? What do you want to know? Kendrick has had previous interviews. Most of his interviews have been with Big Boy in Los Angeles, right? Listen to those if you want to know more about Kendrick. There's nothing else to know. What do you want to know? Why'd he diss Drake? I personally don't give a fuck. And he said it in the music, why he said it. He's the biggest hater.
you know, it's a preamble to the Super Bowl. They're trying to clean up his image. No one's going to sit down with Kendrick and ask him, so you really be cheating on your wife?
Right.
Right? That's really what we're trying to hear him be asked.
No, we're
And
not.
it's never going to happen.
Hmm.
And it's just so calm.
What? No, we're not. We don't. I don't care about that. I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys watching this don't really care. Who really cares about that? This person said this. This person said that. I don't care about if the line in the rap song was true or not. Was the bar hard or not? Was it hard or not?
And calculated. Like, I could see Drake doing a tricky interview and actually answering some of these questions, because they're going to sit him down and be like, you got another kid? He's going to be like, no. Are you a pedophile? He's going to be like, no.
I don't think he's gonna say no.
Yeah,
That's not gonna work, bro.
It's a wobbler.
You know.
It's a wobbler.
I don't know. One or two might have slipped through. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, to me, it's like when I see that interview and I'm like, oh, this is the shit that y'all were so hyped about. Like, to me, it's very easy to imagine how Drake comes out of all this looking like the good guy.
Well,
Because compared to this pompous bullshit, he's already looking pretty good to me.
I'll say it goes even further than Drake, because I feel like it was really timely that Tyler, the Creator, dropped a new video, right?
Did he?
He did.
Oh.
And I'll tell you why I bring that up, because I have a hot take.
Okay.
Here's my hot take.
But let's try to continue on the Kendrick clip that we're doing. Is this part of it? Okay.
This is part of the Kendrick clip.
No, it's called Noid. Is it about the Domino's mascot?
It is not about the Domino's mascot. It is
Look at
called
Big Baby.
Noid, and it's really, really dope.
Big Baby look like an idiot. You know he high out of his mind. He gone. He ain't really been talking because he high.
And it samples like an old African song, and it's really cutting edge. And I say that to say, the way that Kendrick is being treated in this publication, and the adulation that is being put upon him by the pseudo-intellectual masses, really is doing a huge disservice to the growth of the music and the overall trajectory of hip-hop culture, because you have creative minds that are doing everything from the production aspect to every single piece of the creativity that's involved in number one, groundbreaking, earth-shaking records that Tyler's making, compared to a dude like Kendrick, who's just kind of wallowing in this coffee house, pseudo-intellectual psychobabble, and just kind of just mindlessly pandering to a certain demographic to try to act like you're this musical savior, when in reality we have far more creative people making damn near comparable impact that are not getting the respect that they deserve.
If Kendrick did a 4-hour,
Hey, idiot, lush, idiot. Tyler, the Creator, dropped an album. Okay? He dropped an album. Kendrick has not dropped an album yet. What are you talking about? He just rambled about nothing. He said he got a hot take. That's not a hot take. That's a terrible take. Okay? That was terrible. The fuck was you even talking about? Kendrick is not dropping an album yet. So I think the wheels are starting to turn, and this magazine may be leading towards the album coming out. Who knows, right? Because the Super Bowl ain't till February. I would think you will wait until like the end of December, the end of the fourth quarter, to drop that album. We don't know. We don't have nothing. So Tyler is very creative. His name is Tyler, the Creator, right? So he's being very creative. I didn't really like the music and ain't my cup of tea. But how you compare somebody who dropped an album to somebody who just dropped songs and he did an interview with a magazine? Like, come on, bro. Niggas nitpicking.
Or Twitch stream, all of the air would be let out of this whole thing immediately. People would realize the emperor has no clothes.
But that's the thing, though.
It's
So
only by him reserving the amount of content that he gives out to the world that he's able to keep up this facade, don't you think?
100%. But that's the whole thing. Him sustaining this ability to keep the mystery of who he is, like this aura of mystique that he has been really, really imperative to his success.
Yes.
Especially when you look at other guys like Playboy Cardi. That was like the biggest thing. We barely, until Cardi started dropping videos towards the end of last year, we barely got to see his face since 2015. We'd only see like 3-second shots of it. You know what I mean? He really was so mysterious in the way he's marketed. Now that they're showing him more or whatever, it kind of like killed that. And I feel like as huge as Cardi is, even his mystique is now.
But at least Cardi is only pretentious in the sense that he wants you to buy into this whole thing of him being like a goth, dark prince. You know,
That's
which
pretty
is
pretentious.
That's fine. Like you can do that. Like I like metal.
Me too.
I like all these artists who basically like build up this image. But with Kendrick, now that image is built up on him basically being like the savior of hip hop. And in order to be the savior of hip hop,
no, it's not. Y'all putting this narrative on him. Y'all putting this on him. That's not what it is.
you're gonna have to do a lot more than just drop a fucking Drake diss that everybody dances to. Because I feel like if the next album sounds anything like that last one, I mean, the fucking air is really gonna be let out of this shit soon because nobody gave a fuck about that album. Everybody just ignored it because it made so little of an impact.
It went platinum. He went on tour with that album. It was one of the biggest tours in rap history from that album. Learn your history, bro.
And you know what the biggest problem with that article is? The biggest problem is now not only am I less of a Kendrick fan, but SZA, who has literally the best plastic surgery of all time, you feel me? Like, I'm now less of a fan of you because you seem like such a pandering, fake, just lame ass person. I was like, damn,
what the fuck? Bro, I guarantee you never heard one SZA song, Lush. Shut your ass up. And what does her plastic surgery got to do with it? I'm sick of these white dudes trying to speak on black women and black issues. Shut the fuck up.
I thought you were super dope, but here you are trying to use like Gen Alpha slang and like all this it's giving shit that you saying and all that. Like, I don't know. It seemed really contrived.
Say something, black man.
Parts, and the fact that like,
and I'll play devil's advocate and do a Kendrick defense.
Okay.
You just was sitting here talking about it's giving.
I love
that's ex-girlfriend as fuck. But she can't say it's giving.
We all say it's giving. Come on.
No,
It's giving. Like,
Fair
enough.
Like,
Fair
what
enough.
are we talking about?
No, it's more. That's not the best example of what she was doing.
Yeah. That's what I was about to say.
Yeah.
You could have made a better example.
That wasn't a good example. You're right. However,
but let him play advocate.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So in terms of Kendrick, right? You think about it from Kendrick's perspective, he has to tread very carefully, right? Because he's kind of got it right now. Okay. So he's had this big moment with Not Like Us. Everyone's waiting for the next move. Is it Drake going to make the next move? Is Kendrick going to make a move? And they've made all these little tiny like micro moves in different directions. Drake dropped, what was that song? That Hey Delilah or whatever it was, didn't really make any motion, but it's like, these guys, they're still embroiled in this game of chess and they've got to move carefully. And I know as rabid fans that want to hear the beef keep going, it's frustrating to not see Kendrick at least address some of the stuff we want him to talk about. But from his perspective, he's got to try and stay squeaky clean. He doesn't want to talk about the whole cheating allegations. He doesn't really want to touch on certain things. So from his point of view,
what has Drake discussed about the beef? What has Drake discussed? Drake then dropped hella songs after the beef that didn't really chart well. They didn't go higher than I think 16 or something on the charts. So he didn't fall. He didn't fell off. What has Drake discussed about the beef? Where is this energy towards Drake, bro? Why is it just Kendrick has to explain some things? No, Drake has to explain things too. He said one of Kendrick's kids wasn't his. That's what he said. And then what happened? You saw Day Free at the pop out with Kendrick, which we all knew that was BS. Now, is Drake a PDF file? I don't think so, right? I'm gonna just say no, right? I don't think so. But he messed with little young girls. One of them girls was 13. One of the girls was 18. He in his 30s. That's weird. So I think that's why Kendrick used that narrative of the PDF file. But anyway.
You from a chess move, it was genius in the sense that like he's made this interview, he don't really address anything anyone wants. It makes him seem like this saintly, godly like character, which you know what we're saying is maybe that's a bit of a facade, but he's maintaining it through this interview. So from his perspective, it's probably a good chess move, but everyone's pissed off now, so maybe not.
We know how to answer questions for artists from the way they sweat when they're asked the question. So at least if you put it in the air, the way that he skips over the question will give you.
It says something.
Like, you know what I mean? They get around about like, oh yeah, that nigga, he was fucking. Or you get what I'm saying? But who doesn't cheat on their wife as a rapper, the fucking most cracking rapper on the West Coast that there's been in the last decade?
No one cares that Kendrick got pussy, I promise you.
No,
I disagree.
Yeah, people really care.
Bitch that won't fuck Kendrick. Like, you get what I'm saying?
Facts.
Like, he can go to the Sprinter while you sitting inside the show, and the fucking, if it's a female driver, hell, if it's a male driver, he could go get some, you know what I mean?
No, 1000%. And look, like, I feel like Kendrick is the prototypical MC that was designed for someone like me to love him, particularly the fact that he's from here. And I've been following him and a huge fan of this dude for this whole time. But now to see him essentially evolve into being Lin-Manuel Miranda, you feel me? Like, he
Who the fuck is that?
He's the dude that made Hamilton. You feel me? He's essentially like,
man, I made it about 5 minutes into that shit.
Right.
Yeah,
exactly. But my parents say it's amazing. Yeah. They fucking took hip hop and mixed it with music, and here it is.
I listened to my mom talk about how amazing Hamilton was for years, and then they put it out on streaming services. I forget which one, and I fucking made it like 5 minutes. I was like, this shit is so good. Get it off the TV.
Did not slap.
I got an idea. Let me pitch you guys an idea, because this is a project I've always wanted to do. I want to do like a Hamilton type musical, but just all Chicago drill, like a musical about like Chicago stories, but all the music's drill.
That's way harder.
You invested in that?
Way harder.
Call it Blamilton.
Okay, now I'm sold.
We sold investors, man. Come hit me. I need the investments.
It's about TJX6 and shit, and we call it Scamilton.
Scamilton, bro. There's going to be a whole series. Bro, we'll shut down the West End, man.
No, but okay, you know who I relate to? And I was thinking about this when I'm reading an article on Harper's Bazaar for the first time in forever. I'm thinking about Jason Lee and how he's complained to me in the past about how what he's doing is really trying to build a Black-owned media property within the culture by somebody who's a real part of the culture. And constantly at every turn, when he's trying to get these A-listers to come to his award show and everything, he's getting turned down. Now, he does have great relationships with certain people, Cardi B, whoever, like, you know, Floyd Mayweather, all these people. It's not like nobody fucks with him. But to somebody like Jason Lee, it is kind of like, well, why can't I get a Jay-Z or a Beyonce or a whoever to come to my type of shit? Because if that happens, if Kendrick does go to the Impact Awards, that's fucking huge for him. So when I'm having those conversations with Jason Lee, I'm realizing,
why the hell would Kendrick Lamar go to a Jason Lee award show, bro? Kendrick Lamar is a huge artist. Huge artists don't go to those shows. Jason Lee runs Hollywood Unlocked, which is a gossip site. I follow them on Instagram. It's a gossip site. Why would Kendrick Lamar go on there, bro? God,
and now how frustrating it must be for him as a Black-owned media company owner to have, you know, people who could easily blow his fucking brand up instead choose to put themselves into white-owned situations when it comes to media attention. And when I see something like this, I'm like, damn, Kendrick could have gave that look to any number of Black-owned publications.
Anyways, that's it for the video. I'll check with y'all next time. Please leave a like, a comment, and I'll catch y'all next time.